Yes, you serve a God that can hear prayers and answer prayers no matter what time you pray and what time zone you pray. You see, I fell into the ideology that you didn't need to inconvenience yourself to pray a certain time. But what happens is your prayer life begins to dwindle. I think one of the reasons why prayers are not effective sometimes is it becomes such a routine and mundane, repetitive activity that has different attachment of traditions to it, that we would lose the essence. For instance, fasting. Most of us don't know the reason why we fast. We fast so well and so much that fasting doesn't even do what it's supposed to do for us. I'm someone who does intermittent fasting. Okay, so because I do intermittent fasting and I've been doing that for years, you cannot tell me fast 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. my work. I will fast it if I'm depriving myself of a lot more things than food, then it will work. But if I'm just, like fasting from food, trust me, I will even get to 4 p.m. and I will not realize it. But what I have found to work for me is prayer at night, okay? Because then I'm less distracted. At that time, I'm also inconveniencing myself. At that time, I would prefer to be sleeping, but I'm up praying. And it's not because God is in a certain time zone. It's because that is a revelation that has worked and is working now for me. I'm not going, if, say, for instance, tomorrow I'm not able to wake up at a certain time that I usually wake up to pray, I'm not going to beat myself up and say, no, I'm going to have a terrible day because I didn't wake up at that time to pray. No, I'm going to proceed and pray when I am able to pray. The whole point is to get myself to that place where I am in koinonia with God, and my spirit becomes one with God. My spirit is heightened. The Bible says that deep calls unto the deep. When you begin to make a prayer life such a routine that it loses its essence, okay, then it's not doing what it's supposed to do. The whole point is for you to be able to get to a point where your spirit becomes one with God. If fasting doesn't work for you, okay, try midnight prayer. If midnight prayer doesn't work for you, try evening, try morning, try what works for one person might not work for another. I hear some people say, oh, I pray for 14 hours. Praying for 14 hours might not work for you. But you see, praying for 1 hour, very effectual, deep, revelational filled prayer might work for you. Figure out what it is that works for you and kick out every distractions that try to get you distant from spending time with God, from having an altar of worship and devotion and prayer with God. Just because you're praying doesn't mean you're communing with God. Prayer is a supplication, but that doesn't also mean that it's a time that you set aside to actually have a one-on-one conversation. Let me know if you guys have any questions, but I want to challenge you today to, try what works best for you, for your prayer, and challenge yourself to do better in your prayer life. Have a good day.